Hey everybody, it's Mario, and I'm coming to you because of the groundbreaking revolution that's occurring because of this Chat GPT, these GPTs, generative pre-training transformers. So I got to tell you what I'm doing because Mario, what are you doing? That's what they're asking me, my friends. So I have to talk to my friends about what I'm doing with ChatGPT, and I can tell you this: I have two major areas where it's specifically taken two tasks that were huge workload tasks for me and reduced them to almost nothing. Let's talk about the first one. I'm working along with another doctor friend of mine we're beginning to start a fundraising effort to provide gene therapy for sickle cell disease. In other words, there's a group up in Stanford that's come up with a new CRISPR gene therapy that is curative for sickle cell at a cost currently of $2.7 million per patient, which of course is going to go down. But so I need to educate myself on this, right? Like I don't have a walking knowledge of CRISPR therapy or even what CRISPR therapy is. I'm a retired pediatrician. I was critical care, but I'm a retired pediatrician, but I keep up with stuff. Anyway, so I needed, typically to do this kind of a thing, I would do a search, print out a bunch of documents, read and highlight them, and then start to assimilate my talk, okay, or my presentation, okay? Not because I don't really have to do a presentation, but this is another thing, and because I have to learn it because I have to talk to people about it, it's kind of like the same work, so you might as well do the kind of presentation anyway. So that's what I would normally have to do. I would have to go research online, do a search, print all that out, highlight it. But no, that's not what I did. This time I went into the Chat GPT-4 playground and I did it as a conversation. I had a conversation with the Chat GPT-4 and it's saved up there. And then I copied that and pasted it into a document and used it to edit from. So now what I have is early conversations with Chat GPT-4 regarding the history of experimental medicine, historically underserved communities, and the future of curative gene therapy for sickle cell disease. So I prepared that in like 15 minutes. I'm not bullshitting you. By having a conversation. This is what I asked it. Because this is the form, you talk to it. It's like search, but it'll respond in what they call a generative capacity. Well, okay. It talks to you like a human. So this is what I typed in. I typed in, give me a history of experimental medicine, who was chosen and who paid. And it printed out just wonderful shit. Just printed out wonderful. Then I asked it, who currently pays for experimental medicine in the U.S.? Then I asked it, are there any approved gene therapies? Right? And it's just expounding on this. Then I asked it, what factors allow these gene therapies to be approved? Now you have to ask it the right questions. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to read and talk to you. I asked it, what gene therapies are expected to be approved in the future? See what I'm saying? And I asked it, who is expected to pay for approved gene therapies in the future? Now, these are questions I'm typing in. I'm not showing you the answers to my questions, but it answered all this. So by having this conversation, it prepared all this, which I can then study. And I copied it into my document. And I'm about to put it in Microsoft 365 so I could continue using AI on this, okay? I'll talk about that in a second. Let me continue at telling you what questions I talked to it about. I asked it, who is expected to pay for approved gene therapies in the future? These are all me questions talking to ChatGPT. Then I asked it, can you use the Tuskegee experiment as an argument for the funding of gene therapies for sickle cell disease? And let me just tell you, it went on that. Then I said, please develop this argument even further. Well, you should see what it wrote. Then I said, as a minority healthcare provider, what can we do to ensure that developing gene therapies are made available to historically underserved communities? And then it wrote a bunch of stuff on that. I mean, I'm just saying this is like 10, 15 minutes, under 15 minutes. Then I asked it, I've heard that there is a CRISPR research team at Stanford University that has developed a cure for sickle cell disease. Can you tell me more? Wrote a bunch of shit. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Then I asked it, who else is conducting similar or supportive research worldwide? Oh, this wrote me just incredible. I'm learning. And like, okay, with this kind of directed learning, as a retired pediatrician, critical care specialist, but I'm just saying my ability to study topics, I can talk to the ChatGPT, have it generate the information that I need to study, put that into a document, and then at the same time study it. Then I told it, please summarize our discussion here today. Oh, can you believe that? Can you believe that? And then I asked it, based on our discussion today, can you make suggestions for future discussions? Okay, wow. Then finally I said, thank you. Now I will be presenting all of this information to other professionals. Can you suggest some opening and closing jokes for my presentation? It did that. It did that. Then I said, give me a few more jokes, because the jokes are terrible. Terrible, because they made it for like scientists. Just terrible, corny jokes. And then I asked it, can you create a detailed PowerPoint presentation of a discussion today? And it said that it couldn't create PowerPoint files directly, but it could provide me with an outline and suggested content. Then at that point, it provided me an outline of like 10 slides, which you can now post, put into something else and it'll finish it. But in the future, it'll do it. It's coming. The future ChatGPT, even this one, even though it's obviously not doing it yet for me, is supposed to integrate graphics and ultimately video. I just posted on Facebook and other places an example of a video, a presentation about some historical UFO stuff that totally was written, directed, and produced by AI. So for some stuff, not everything, but these are appropriate documentary type topics where you just don't necessarily need it, but you really need to be able to research something and have it presented to you in a form that's most conducive, which may include video. In other words, you could do a search on something and it might talk to you, which in the future could be a robot or a friendly face or whatever. But anyway, so this is what I did. So it gave me a whole thing about the Tuskegee experiment and how I could use that. And then I asked it to provide graphics and videos for me, and it did. Then I told it to give me a more extensive list of related videos from YouTube, and it generated like a just straight up list of YouTube videos. Man, that's what I did. So okay, that's one of the things. Okay, how you like that? Now let me tell you the other thing of mine that it just took that reduced all of that work to under 15 minutes. So now that I have all that, I can go study it. See, I can go study it. Oh, I'm getting tired. I can go study it and use it in creating a presentation. So I sent it off to Herman too. So now, the other big area that I'm doing it is that I'm doing a bunch of music remakes. I got over 50 songs. Over 50 songs. So I'm coming out of the blocks with a big catalog, which is a whole nother video, another whole thing. Now, the fact that they are remakes is interesting because, in other words, like there's a few that are original, but as opposed to my other offerings, this one is specifically me doing old school tracks that I've loved and whatever. It's me doing remakes, whatever you want to call them, okay? These are some classic hits that I'm redoing because I kind of want to, and I love them. So anyway, so I was supposed to do 16, and now I got like 50. Okay, so anyway, so each song, I want to shoot a short video of why I chose the song, but I also want to generate for each song the history of the song and the history of the artist who originally performed it, okay? Now that's a lot of work and research. Now, I did 30 of these rough draft in under an hour, okay? And now I just stopped for a minute because I'm waiting for the new ChatGPT 5 to come out because it's going to integrate graphics and video. So I can have the AI write the history of the song and the history of the artist who did the song for each of these remakes. Now I got 50 songs. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how much work that would be? And now I can put that on in the website and then shoot a video of me talking about why I chose each song. That's easier, right? Just shoot one of these style videos. Put that with that material, and now I've done it. Now, the other thing I'm looking at right now is the text to video generators. That's where you can put text in and video and text in and graphics and create a video. So it's a text to video generator. Let me get that right. Now, one of the things they have you do is go to a place where you will generate an AI picture. Type in text and generate AI picture that fits the theme of your video. Then use that plus more text to have the AI generate the video. See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm working with now because I have to do 50 videos. Now I'm getting a bunch of videos done. I got a dancer in Bogota, Colombia, Hillary Contreras. She's wonderful. But I got 50 songs, and every song needs a video. So, and why I say, Mario, what is every song? Because that's today's promotion. Every song needs a video, okay? And every song needs a YouTube video. And if you get a lot with the license that's under $20, I get to make YouTube videos. So, hence, this is what I'm doing. This is what Mario is doing. Those two tasks, saving me a ton of work. So if you're doing music, you can do this to help you write your stuff for on the music or the tracks you're doing, even on your own stuff. And you can use it to generate graphics for the promotion of your own stuff. See what I'm saying? For whatever you're doing. And do a topic. So this is Mario, your resident geek, here at the house, smoking a lot of weed, drinking coffee, and doing work using today's new ChatGPT tools. See, I told you it was good. Blessings.